again, with the people hating on the Ozempic and hating on the GLP-1 because A, they can't prescribe it and they have no clinical experience with it, and B, they have a supplement to sell you instead. Like, just stop. Just stop. I have had so many companies approach me asking me to promote their supplement. I've had people approach me talking about formulating different GLP-1, Nature's Ozempic. I'm just not doing it because it's a scam. It's a scam all the way around. So I'm looking at you Kardashians. I'm looking at all of the people out there who have absolutely no clue how GLP-1s actually work, are totally cool with trashing on them on their huge online platforms, and then sell you a supplement to try to mimic it. It doesn't exist. So that takes us to the next point that I would like to leave behind in 2024, and that is a bunch of intentionally ignorant people who are in positions of power trashing on Ozempic and GLP-1s with absolutely zero clinical experience or any health certifications whatsoever. There's a few people specifically I'm thinking about. Perhaps you know who I'm talking about. I don't know why. I don't know why the railing. I also know of doctors and scientific health professionals who I hold in high esteem who trash on it. But here's what they're doing. They grab the clickbaity titles that are going around, the clickbaity mainstream media. They grab onto it so they can talk about it on their socials, so they can talk about it on their podcast, so they can stay relevant, but they don't actually go read the study. So they reference the study. They make a whole reel about the study, but they didn't actually read the study because I know these people are smart enough to read a study and interpret a study, and they didn't. They just give you the clickbaity, which is so frustrating. Because these people they should know better, right? They really should know better. They're formally trained in science. They are formally trained in how to read studies. They know what they're doing. And yet they're purposely giving you misinformation and they're purposely misleading you into fear. And it is my strong opinion that that massive amount of fear that some of these folks have drummed up and continue to spur on is potentially costing lives. Because I'm hearing from these folks who are messaging me, sending me this content, telling me how terrified they are, and that they are sitting in the group of extreme pathology who would be a candidate for a GLP-1, and their doctors have actually suggested it to them. So I'm not the one giving them any advice, and I'm not giving you any advice, but their doctors have come to them and said, I think a GLP-1 would be very helpful for your type 2 diabetes or your obesity situation that's driving these other pathologies that you're dealing with. And they are afraid of it and say no. And so they continue to white knuckle it and struggle because some influencer that they trust who has absolutely no experience with it and potentially is the type of doctor that isn't a clinician, like a PhD doctor, telling them that it's so dangerous because they misinterpreted a study so that they could get clicks and follows. Like, that is the grossest of gross. And I'm so over it. So we're going to leave that in 2024, and I'm going to continue to interpret these studies for you along the way. I do a deeper dive on things, obviously, inside my course, the GLP-1's Done Right course, where I talk about everything, including a big module on hormones and a module on the insulin-sensitive lifestyle and a module on all of the pieces of the puzzle that go into this, because we're not utilizing GLP-1s as a single monotherapy. That's silly. That's not a responsible way to do it, in my opinion. I know a lot of folks are doing it that way, and I am glad if it's working for you, but I'm here to tell you that the real concern here is receptor sensitivity, and you can't just crank the dose up and hope for the best. Eventually, your cells will become resistant to hearing that signal, and the peptide won't work for you as well anymore, or at all. And I'm seeing that, and I'm hearing from people in real time about that. So that's why I created this course for clinicians and health professionals to learn how to do it right. But also, I've opened it to the general public so that they can get educated, because education equals empowerment. I will continue to make podcast episodes here and there about some of these really egregious claims that I'm seeing go around. I just did one that I did an Ozempic update you'll want to listen to, but man, the blatant lies that are going around. I watch people in high positions of power grab a study and say, this is, Ozempic is causing this. And I'm like, dude, did you even open the study? Did you read the study? Did you look at the limitations? Did you do any groundwork at all before making this egregious claim and smearing it all over your social media platforms where you have a tremendous reach? And then I'm seeing people in position of politics, and I shall not name names, parroting those people. So they're getting the wrong information. And here's why this matters. Because these same people, at the end of the day, we're all on the same side. We're all on the same side. We're questioning big pharma. We're questioning big food. We're questioning the intentions of these big industries and their overall and overarching impact and control and potentially, who knows what they're up to with the general public. So that science, the details matter in science. Like the facts actually matter in science. So these are the same publications, even media outlets that are coming out questioning, and they should be looking at data that's showing a different story than what the mainstream media and what the narrative is telling us, right? And they're evaluating real studies, and they're doing a good job of it. So when they post or publish something that is an egregious, outright, far-reaching extrapolation of a study, and it's incorrect and it's misinformation, and sometimes it's just blatant lies, it discredits everything else they've written that might actually be factual and really important. And it discredits the entire movement. Like, do you see? So just egregiously hating on Ozempic because I don't even know why. I really don't know what some of these people have it out for this peptide. But to cry wolf and to scream these untruths by just having, just parroting a headline they read without actually looking at the study at all, it discredits the entire movement. It discredits the entire medical freedom movement when the same people who are trying to sound the alarm on what's really going on and what's really important are also over here selling you a half-truth for whatever reason they have. There's got to be some monetary reason why they're coming down so hard on it. What are they trying to sell you, right? But it discredits the entire movement that we're all working so hard for. And that movement is just truth and transparency in medicine. So I promise you, if I see a study that comes up that just blatantly shows that this peptide is super dangerous, I will be the first to share it with you. I don't hold back. Like, I have no investment in GLP-1s or their success or failure. I just think when used appropriately and used responsibly, these peptides have some pretty tremendous properties that we're not shedding enough light on because everybody's so worried about the weight loss conversation and so worried. I don't know what is happening in that whole, it's a very interesting social construct that's going on of people getting so angry and emotionally charged about the subject when it comes to the topic of obesity. But I will let you extrapolate. We'll leave it there.